I'm not getting anything out of teaching you this. I'm telling you, this is what you need to do in order to build your dreams.
I ain't afraid of work. I ain't afraid of play. I ain't afraid to get the job done and do it my own damn way. I ain't afraid of life. Times like this. If you mess with my freedom, I'll tell you just what you can kiss. That's right.
They chewing, they ain't mooing. Guys, welcome back to the Stoney Ridge Farm channel. It's a beautiful day here on the farm. We are in north central North Carolina, and today I'm just gonna quickly talk to you guys about starting your own farm. Homestead, farm, whatever you wanna call it. This is a small farm. Some people call it a hobby farm. I don't call it a hobby farm because I file a Schedule F every year and I earn a living partly on the animals here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. So I've got a lot of questions and comments and just piles and piles of people asking, did you win the lottery? How'd you do this? How did you build this farm? You know, it must be nice to be rich. I get that a lot. Must be nice. It's not nice. It's hard work. It is nice and wonderful to live on a place like this. I'm on a 150-acre first-generation cattle project. 50 years ago, this was tobacco. 6 years ago, this was overgrown and covered in brush. Now we're bringing it back to agriculture, we're bringing it back to cattle, and we're healing the land, and we are regenerative farming. Now, what does regenerative farming mean to you and me? It means doing the right thing for the land, for the soil, for the animals. Our animals receive no vaccinations. Oh God. They receive no medications unless they are sick. We don't treat the well, we treat the sick. Imagine that concept. I know it's really tough with Western medicine that we should most certainly treat people who are sick and who are well, or cows who are sick and who are well, but we don't have health problems here on the farm. I have yet to have but one health problem on this Stoney Ridge farm, and that was from one young animal eating too many acorns. And that was something that I learned. We had a bumper crop of acorns about, I guess, 3 years ago, and I lost a calf to bloat. Since then, I've learned how to treat bloat, and I know what to do, and I haven't lost a cow since then, but that happens sometimes. This is a 150-acre, not a magical unicorn farm that fell from the sky. This is dedication and hard work. Now, let's talk about how I got started with this farm. I went out and I sought out land. I was looking for land that was close to where I grew up, close to where my parents live. My parents live about 15 minutes away from here. I want to be close to family in case they get sick. I'm there for them. I can be there for them. The land that you see right here was overgrown in brush and briars and brambles and trees, and needed a lot of rehabilitation, a ton of rehabilitation. If you look back, I'll post some videos at the end of this at some of the clearing and some of the timber cutting. What we did was we went to Carolina Farm Credit and got a loan. I said there's no we anymore. Sometimes the stresses of a farm can stress a marriage to the point of where it just don't work. Sometimes you can't bring a city girl to the country, and sometimes people just don't have what it takes to keep a successful relationship. Did the farm destroy my marriage? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Did social media destroy my marriage? Absolutely not. And I'm going to tell you about a commodity that you don't know about, or you may not know about, that you need to incorporate into building your farm. So, 25% down, had to save up, had to scrimp, had to save, had to get myself as close to out of debt as I possibly could. If you're thinking about building a farm like this or buying some land, you're gonna have to have about 20% down. Now, whether you take out a home equity loan like I did in order to get that 25% down to buy the land, or whether you have it in the bank already, that's up to you. It depends on how disciplined you are. And let me tell you, you can't build a farm without some self-discipline. So if you think you're gonna go out and you're gonna buy that new Yukon Denali for 140, I don't know what they cost now, $120,000, and you're gonna build this farm and you're not a millionaire already, you ain't gonna do it. You just ain't gonna do it. Stop making yourself perpetually middle class by burying yourself in consumer debt, and a car is consumer debt. Work to get out of that, and that might turn some people off, but stick with me here. Think about this. So I went to Carolina Farm Credit. I borrowed money, 25% down. The land that we're standing on right here was brushy, overgrown, and it cost $1,800 an acre. There's 90 acres on this paddock or plot, and there's 60 acres on the other side. The other side was even worse than this side. Lots of money went into this. So once we bought our land, we had timber. Some timber about this big, some about this big. And we cut the timber on the land. We made, $40,000 to $50,000. We took that money, we reinvested it into clearing pastures and building fences. Now, make no mistake about it, we've got a ton of videos out there. You can build your own fence or you can hire it done. It's important to know that. It's important to know that the cost of fencing is astronomical. It is, but if you can learn how to do it yourself and build a good quality fence, you probably won't have to rebuild that when you're 80. If you build it when you're 40 or 50, odds are it's gonna be falling apart by the time you're 80 unless you do it right. Now, we tried to do it right. What we have here, again, was a loan. I just got a loan on the 60 acres over there. You can't get a conventional loan, a conventional mortgage. You can't get a VA loan. There's money out there from the USDA for you to borrow against. Do I advocate for you borrowing money from the USDA to buy your farm and build your farm? Yes. Do I advocate for you to seek out free money to start your farm? If that's what you want to do, go for it. Absolutely. It's not what we did here on the farm, but I did seek it out. I found out that the USDA offices here in my county were helpful in some ways and not so helpful in other ways. I got put on a list and pushed back, put on a list and pushed back. Don't wait for the government to hand you that free check, guys. Get out there, get to work, get the chainsaws out and get the bush hog out and get the machinery out and start clearing land. Now, most of you and myself, we buy a piece of land and it's grown up and trashy and nasty, and we're gonna go out, we're gonna work, we're gonna take chainsaws and wheelbarrows and brush and grapples on tractors, and we're gonna clean all this land up, right? What I realized was money is much better spent organizing yourself financially and paying someone to do it that is a pro. If I would have had to clear all of this land, and let me show you, all around us, every bit of this had to be cleared, it cost me about $16,000 to do that. If I'd had to do it, I'd have been out here for 3 years. You gotta get your farm up, you gotta get it pumping, you gotta get it pumping out. Financial gain, that's what it's about. I started with 3 cows, we bumped up, now we're almost at 50 cows. I've had as many as 65 cows. In the wintertime, you got hay expenses. In the summertime, the cows are out grazing. You got fencing and hay expenses and payments. Once again, this is not unachievable for you. If you're seeking land to buy, you can go on all these websites and look up all these plots of land that are out there for sale for astronomical prices. Or you can be patient, you can bide your time, you can go over to the Farm Service Agency office, you can look on the bulletin board, there are people with land for sale. You can knock on doors, you can see overgrown land, go right on the GIS website, look it up real quick, see who owns that land, write them a letter. I've always dreamed of farming. Mr. Jones, I've always dreamed of farming. I see that you have 55 acres over here and that it's starting to grow up. I would love to bring your farm back to life. Ask them about leasing, ask them about purchasing. Please contact me. I would love to continue the tradition of agriculture on your property. Most of these older farmers who have retired, people in their 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, maybe even low 100s, they love agriculture, but their families, their kids find it much easier to go to work in town, get a paycheck, come home, take the kids to soccer practice, and that's it. There are opportunities out there, and those opportunities aren't necessarily on a realtor site. Now, there are great realtor sites, and if you don't have a good realtor, contact one. That way he can be out there or she can be out there looking for you. I didn't buy any of this land through a realtor. It was all word of mouth. You've got to put yourself in a position for success in order to be successful. That is a take-home message. You can write that down on the whiteboard in your house. You have to put yourself in a position for success in order to be successful. So that's what I did. The first piece of land that I bought was one of my patients at the hospital. I'm a registered nurse. I have since stopped nursing, started content creation, and started farming full-time here on the farm. You can do this, guys. I'm telling you. Now let's talk about a commodity that nobody really seems to think about. I say nobody, I say probably 0.01% of people. And you see us out here and you see us creating content. I'm not getting anything out of teaching you this. I'm telling you, this is what you need to do in order to build your dreams, okay? To build your dreams. While you're building your farm, while you're seeking out land, you need to create a little content. This is the next commodity? Would we rather raise 10 acres of squash and sit at the farmer's market all day on Sunday and Saturday and make 50 bucks, or would we rather create content to help subsidize the cost on your farm? That's what I'm telling you. That is a commodity that you can use. Some people say, well, I don't want to talk on a camera and I don't. Let me tell you something. Your perspective is valuable. It is very valuable. When you mess up on your property, on your farm, on clearing your land, on running your chainsaw, on running your tractor, when you mess up, it teaches us, it teaches me, it teaches you. It's super important for all of us to share this. And on the garbage crap that you see on TV and everything super commercialized, guys, I think it's a breath of fresh air. I want you to leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this valuable commodity to help you build your property. It is not a unachievable miracle. This is not a unicorn farm that just popped out of the sky. This is something that took hard work, dedication, planning, hard work, dedication, and more planning. Now I've got a load of hay coming in here for the cows. I'm just about out of hay. Speaking of planning, we got to spend a little bit of money today, but it takes money to make money. You guys hear that, right? That's what people say. It takes money to make money, but I say it takes intellect to make money, and it takes thinking outside the box, okay? Thinking outside the box. I bought the land, 25% down, went to Farm Credit, got my loan. You can go to the USDA, you can get loans. There's grant money out there for you if you decide you want to do it. I know the government's cutting back on this kind of stuff, so don't bank on that. However, it is achievable. Don't go buy the farmland right next to town that costs $10,000 an acre and expect that you're gonna have a profitable enterprise. Guys, seek out the worn out. Seek out what everybody else doesn't want, what nobody sees potential in, and that is how you build a farm successfully without going in the poorhouse. Cool? Guys, thanks a lot. Please comment if you have any input. Anything you'd like to share, post it down there in the comments. I really appreciate you. I've got to go check on the cows, make sure I do a little pregnant walk, make sure nobody's gonna have a baby tomorrow. Thank you so much. You can farm, you can build your homestead, you can feed yourself, you can feed your family, and you can feed other families, guys. If that's what you dream of, chase that dream. Let me be your inspiration. Chase that dream. See you next time on the Stoney Ridge.
Come on down.